Hello everybody and welcome to Flora and Fang, Guardians of the Vampire Garden. I am going to do something I don't normally do, and that's a review video because I've finished the game and I don't imagine I could ever really go back through and try to do this again. We'll just show the nice little intro video.
Skies, where wolves and owls sing lullabies. Lived two young siblings, known far and wide, whose gardening skills could not be denied. Their father called them near to say, "My children, I must go away. Guard the crops, that's all I ask. Their safety is your primary task." As the moon rose high and night drew near, a buzzing brought a sting of fear. Swarms of insects had come to invade. Their garden threatened, it must be saved.
Yeah, so I'd like to start off by thanking the developers for giving me a free key to the game. And, well, very early access, because this doesn't actually come out until May. But I finally finished it today after about 5 or 6 hours of gameplay. Almost 7 hours, because I suck. But if you look at the high scores, you wouldn't know that I suck, because that's me at number 2, which probably won't stay the same forever. I don't expect to stay number 2. Once the game comes out, I'm expecting I will be, kind of down there at the bottom. But it's totally worth it to be on there today as number 2. Anyway, the game is an arcade game, and I'm going to try to choose like just maybe some random levels or whatever. Just kind of give you an overview of the gameplay. I'm not going to play through the whole thing, because obviously, like I said, it took me almost 7 hours to finish it, and I don't really foresee anything changing in that aspect. It's not like I suddenly have become better at it. Alright, so the general gist of the game is you are Flora or Fang, the two children of what I presume to be Dracula, and the goal is to protect the pumpkins because, these insects are coming after them. Now, you might say, why would vampires have, pumpkins? And I don't have a good answer for you. It's never really thoroughly explained as to why, the vampires have like a bunch of pumpkins, and of all the things why they chose to grow pumpkins as opposed to other things. I mean, I suppose, onions would be okay. Maybe some bell peppers, some jalapenos. Probably not garlic, on account of the allergy to them. But hey, it's whatever. It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be fun. And is it fun? Oh yeah, it's a ton of fun. Occasionally it gets really difficult, at least for me, because I'm not as quick as I used to be. My reaction time can kind of suck. I apparently can't see, even with 20/20 vision. So, a lot of terrible mistakes are made, and a lot of damage, and all that stuff. I feel like I did good enough to get a chest. I bet you I didn't, but... Oh, snap. I did. So one workaround I have found, if you really want to get on that top score, one thing you can do when you're playing this is you could, basically stick with, like, some of the easiest levels, if you wanted to. And then you could just kind of get stopped by this snickerdoodle spot here. Heal yourself with the hearts or whatever. I had to go through and like do a couple of the easier levels again, so that you can just keep ranking up that score. Then do the very final level, and then you get the highest score. It's like it's a workaround if you want to get like a high score. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you could do it if you wanted to. I'm gonna skip through and just play like some from, not all of the different levels, but just some of them, just because I want to be able to give you a fair idea of kind of what to expect. But I also don't want to spoil a whole lot because, you know, the game is not out just yet. And, I don't know, I just feel like if I showed you everything, that would be potentially doing a disservice to everything that you will get to experience on your own. Now, I did ask if there was any embargo. There isn't. I can show whatever I want as much as I want, whenever I want, but it doesn't change anything. I still feel like it's important to kind of limit what I show in a way. Anyway, you got some traps that you can utilize that will help you stay alive against all of your enemies, which is nice. And the coins you get you can use to do some important things like buy traps, buy some upgrades, which I will go to a different storefront soon to kind of show you like what your choices are. There's not a whole lot, but there's enough to... son of 80 dang spiders. Although towards the end you get like these kind of spiders that are like invisible. They fade in and out like spider predators, if you will. Chameleons, maybe. I don't really know the best way to describe it. Either way, like they definitely have been the leading cause of all the stress today for me. I've had to take multiple breaks just because they've just been so infuriating. But that's okay. I feel like it's kind of something you have to kind of expect when it comes to arcade titles. You want something that's going to have a nice level of difficulty, even if it might be a little frustrating at times. No chest. No star for me. Figures. Anyway, that right there is like the general gist. I mean, that's the game in a nutshell. I'm just gonna show you like some other levels and stuff like that. Where's the store? Yeah, I still don't have enough money to really buy some of the stuff that I want. I do wish that the storefronts kind of matched up with, you know, each other. Like, you have to go all the way back to the first store in order to get another health potion, which I feel like is something that not a lot of people will do if they can avoid it. There's like less of a reason to actually do it, I think, if you don't have to. That's right, the fire spiders. I forgot about them. So each kind of world has their own specific kind of like enemies that you're gonna have to deal with, and it's all, you know, it all works really well, but you have to make the right decisions, none of which I have made here, and that's like the first time it's ever gotten stuck on that. You only need one pumpkin to actually, you know, finish a level successfully. So, it's not like a big deal. And because I've because I finished the game, I've already unlocked all the levels, so it's not like a big deal if I fail here. It just means that my high score is going to be, you know, shot back down to 0. Also, not an issue because I'm number 2, man. Number 2. And as somebody who's not really competitive, it's still kind of cool to be able to say that I'm number 2. How often have I ever been able to say I'm number 2? I don't know. You might say, you know, well, that means you're like second best or first worst. You know, that's true, but it's also like, you know, somebody had to make a decision, and they were like, See, now you know why. Now you know why I'm number 2, because I'm not that great. But anyway, we're gonna move on to another stage. This was one of my favorite ones. If I can remember the level that I think is yeah. Well, this is not the level I wanted to choose, but this one is probably my favorite of the stages because it's basically a bunch of, you know, arcade classic levels, or levels from classic arcade games tossed into one collection of, you know, just enjoyable levels that you've kind of been doing. That being said, you know, I realize I'm failing kind of miserably here to actually make a concise thought. It's been like that today. Like, I don't know, I just can't form coherent thoughts. Brain injuries and chronic depression and PTSD, it's all things that happens, you know. These are things that you kind of have to deal with. Anyway, not the point. This game has been something that, I mean, I've been playing it, I guess, like, for the better part of the weekend. A couple hours here and there. Yesterday, I spent, like, an hour or 2 playing with it. I thought I was gonna, like, make the video of my gameplay, kind of like at that point, but then I was like, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep playing this. I'm gonna get to the end. I'm gonna make the video. It's gonna be amazing. And then I, you know, really try to do a decent job. And the game broke me because it just kicked my butt in the later levels, and I had to take a break. I just kind of sat here with the music playing because I like the music, and well, now here we are. I finally finished it and I'm kind of playing through. So the point of all of that, what I'm saying is, the game is addictive. You know, if you were a kid in the late 80s, early 90s, there's a good chance you had the opportunity to run to an arcade, or walk to an arcade, or ride a bicycle to an arcade, or maybe you went to the arcade and your family took you to the mall or whatever. The point is, if you went to the arcade, you were probably, you know, going with a pocket full of quarters and, you know, kind of hoping for the best. Some kids would pick and choose, like, a very specific game to play. Some would try to spend all their quarters playing as many games as possible. Just have a good time. I was the kind of kid that would, well, I would really probably play 1 or 2 games depending on what it was. My go-to was Battletoads. If I saw that, if that was there, I played Battletoads. Didn't matter if other people were playing, I jumped in like I owned the machine, and I was like, I'm playing Battletoads with you, I'm gonna help you. Obviously, this is not Battletoads, so that's, you know, in a way, kind of irrelevant. But my point is, this game is very much the kind of game that is super easy to jump into and just start having a good time with. It has a very addictive gameplay loop. Are there any of these that I don't have to start? I guess not. I'm also trying to, like, choose levels that maybe aren't so difficult. That's a boss fight, which I don't want to show any of the boss fights, just because I also really don't like the B one. I actually think, like, the vast majority of these levels in this world, I was not a fan. Some of the levels are better than the others. I mean, they're all pretty much kind of the same, for what they are, you know? Like, we run around, we collect, or we do stuff to try to, like, get these, bugs all dead and stuff with their stuff and whatnot, so we can save these, so our dad vampire isn't, kind of upset with us. But, yeah, I mean, some of the levels, there are enemies that, I guess are, like, more difficult to kind of deal with. And difficult isn't even, like, the right word. I think it's just more of, like, for me, it was just easier to find myself getting stuck. Like, not being able to see them properly, they kind of blend into the background or against other enemies, or, you know, the stuff I had placed. So I wouldn't necessarily see the enemies and I would start taking damage. And I didn't really feel like it was something that I was supposed to do. Like, I mean, I I obviously had earned the damage I was taking because I got hit, but it would just be like this kind of situation of like, man, it's not fair because these guys are like just hard to see, or, you know, any number of excuses I made internally. Like there, like it would just happen. It's just because there's so much going on, and the colors and everything just kind of bleeds together for me. I don't think it's like a bad thing. I wouldn't really say that overall I would complain about it. It's just something you have to be aware of, that there is a possibility that you're going to run into this situation where when you're sitting there trying to tackle all these enemies and save your precious pumpkins, you might have a little bit of a problem with actually dealing with everything on account of stuff kind of bleeding into each other. Oh, I missed the blue diamond. Ah, well. Either way, it's still like it's a non-stop amount of fun, and the game is kind enough to give you the ability to kind of, you know, continue without having to like start over, you know, which is definitely really nice. I'm just depositing stuff. I wanted to get the pumpkin bomb. I don't think I'm going to get it. This is the last level, the final boss. We'll do the final commutes as another one. Again, I could do the boss fights. I do think the boss fights are pretty cool. I just feel like if there was anything that I would want to keep, you know, I don't know, secret, I guess, maybe is the word. Maybe not the word, but I mean, like, if there's anything that I would want to kind of, like, keep low key, you know, like... Hey, you stole it. See, these are those invisible chameleon insects I was talking about. I don't like them at all. It's been a major pain in my butt to try to, like, kind of save all the pumpkins and finish all the levels, and they just keep managing to, like, get in there, and I just can't find it. Now, this game is co-op. I didn't mention that. But you can play this with your friends or your enemies or whatever, as long as you got somebody that's willing to play with you co-op. See, stupid plants. Alright, just because that one kicked my butt, I'm gonna do a boss fight, whatever. The bumblebees is a hard one. I don't want to look terrible. The harvesters are really cool, but again, kind of a difficult one. We'll do the Mother of Moths. We'll do this one. This will be the boss fight that I show as I finish up, because I don't really need to keep going. Because again, I think I said I was going to try to do this as like a kind of review of sorts. Every boss fight is, well, I want to say unique, but technically they're unique, like, in a way. They're not overly complex. There's nothing... I just jumped in lava. Anyway, they're not, like, overly complex or anything, but they are entertaining. I feel as though each boss fight was, I guess, like, it was different enough to where I felt like I was always kind of fighting a new... Well, you were fighting a new boss, but it was something that was always new enough to where it didn't feel like it was a rehash. You know, it wasn't like just some reskin battle. I don't think these, like, even go in the fire. I guess the final fight, the final boss is probably the very best boss out of all of them from an impressive kind of standpoint, like as far as the mechanics required to defeat the boss and everything. But I didn't want to show that. The bright side is I do expect to survive long enough to kill the boss here, and I have, and that's, you know, about it. That's about all I wanted. That's about all I'm gonna show. I really like it. It's a really good arcade game. It's a ton of fun. I mean, you've got easily 5 or 6 hours of gameplay. Even if you're really good at it, you have all that extra time to play it because it's you know, it's very replayable because you can go back and play the levels. You can try to, you know, do things so you can get on the leaderboard at a higher rank and everything. It's just a lot of fun. Super cute graphics. The storyline, while rather minimal, it's cute. And Gordo, the pumpkin thief, he's the bad guy at the end. But yeah, there you go. Flora Fang, Guardians of the Vampire Garden. Again, I just wanted to do like a more of a concise video that showed off some of the levels of what you might see without going into too much of the spoiler stuff. Since the game doesn't come out till May. Anyway, the point is, it's very fun. I highly recommend tossing this bad baby on your wish list and then just, you know, being patient. And when the game comes out, maybe buy it. Have some good times. Get your friends to play it with you. And that is all for me. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.